You say, and you've said it on your campaign trail, that you are going to be a lawyer for the people, not the government, which is fantastic because that is what the job of Attorney General is exactly. So during the pandemic, you brought it up, we witnessed a wave of governors bypassing legislative bodies to enact emergency mandates regarding literally everything under the sun. They told us exactly what we can do and can't do concerning our own business practices. We know, and this was this was one of the biggest issues, to altering voting regulations. And I would say the biggest issue, which is very close to my heart, is the most important one for me, and it's the most important one for my audience. They told us when we can and cannot worship. They told us when we can and cannot open up our churches. Listen, last month, President Biden's administration, they had the big global COVID summit. And one of the fascinating takeaways, I don't know what they know, but they know something. The leaders from around the world, they were all in agreement that another pandemic is coming. And they even said that the next major pandemic, not an epidemic, not reserved to one geographical location, pandemic is coming, and it's coming in the fall or winter months of this year. How in the world would they know that? I have no idea, but I'm listening to them, so we know it's coming. How can our American freedoms be protected from totalitarian threats like these? What can you do as Attorney General of Illinois to make sure that our churches can stay open? It is a mandate. We are mandated by God in His Word to not forsake the meeting together with the brethren, and even more so when we see the day approaching, and that day is talking about the Lord's return. What can you do to protect us from these totalitarian threats?
Certainly, that's is why it's so important to have an independent attorney general who is not beholden to the government, but rather simply enforces the law. All these things that that there's threats of are in fact illegal, and you have to have someone within the government to control the government, which is what the attorney generals that are independently elected are supposed to do. That's in fact their duty. And if you can learn more, by the way, about my campaign and me, and certainly contribute to us if you'd like at Dave, the number 4ag.com. That's Dave, 4ag.com. And I would suggest to you that one of the things, of course, that the country is built upon is something called the consent of the governed. And the only way we determine the consent of the governed is through elections. And the Attorney General of Illinois has specific authority in enforcing election law and prosecuting election crimes. So there's a myriad of things that office is designed to do that are good for the people. That basically, if we allow the elected attorneys general around the country, and particularly here in Illinois, because we have an opportunity to have an independently elected attorney general, then of course we give up our freedoms. We allow that to happen, and so we cannot allow that to happen anymore. And you have to look to this office to, in fact, control such government overreach. I get questions like yours, and strangely enough, there's a long introduction and there's a long list of abuses, and the strange simple answer is 3 words, and that's enforce the law.
Enforce the law. You were actually there was something that you did during COVID-19 where there was a church that wanted to open up, and you made some things happen, to put it one way, where this entire town, or maybe even county, this acted as if Governor JB Pritzker didn't even exist. His mandates didn't even exist, and you fought for the church. Can you tell us that story?
Absolutely. The church is standing in the word ministries. It's in Morris, Illinois, which is in Grundy County. And they were among the mandates is a situation where they said only 10 people could attend services, and there was a variety of other restrictions. And Pastor Giovanetti and I got together, and I asked Pastor G. I said, "Do you want to I can do one of two things. I can make you famous, or I can arrange for you to have church. What would you like to do? And Pastor G said, we want to have church. And I said, okay. And so ultimately, how we proceeded on that is we sued the state's attorney and the sheriff of Grundy County, who were charged with enforcing the governor's orders. We didn't sue the governor, but we sued the individuals charged with enforcing that. And within 2 weeks, the church was operating. And because we came to that agreement with the sheriff and the state's attorney to not enforce the governor's orders, the whole county of Grundy acted like an island that, as far as the governor did not
Amazing.
exist. And I think I mentioned when we were together at Restore Our Constitution. I think people tell me I should do this because I'm running for office, but I did that work for the church pro bono. We didn't charge the church anything. In fact, I actually paid the filing costs and whatnot for the church as my donation to the church.